churches, memorials, and libraries. Russia has damaged or destroyed over 500 cultural sites in Ukraine, including 150 religious sites in 3 years of war, according to UNESCO. This includes the Transfiguration Cathedral in Odessa and the theater in Mariupol.
This is deliberate, this is coordinated, and this is strategic. Because our, our enemies, the aggressors, Russian aggressors, know that a nation is more than just territory. A nation is the people, it's the stories, it's the tradition, it's the values, it's their culture, which is why we must be strong on this point. We must continue to support our Ukrainian friends.
The protection of Ukraine's cultural heritage, threatened by 3 years of war, was at the heart of the Conference on the Reconstruction of Ukraine in Italy. The EU will dedicate a further €2 million to support Ukraine's cultural sector, bringing its contribution to €7 million this year and €48 million since the start of the war.
So the war in Ukraine, it's not just a war for territory. It's a war on values, it's a war on culture. And Ukrainian culture is part of European culture, which is why we must recognize its value and why we must protect it. We must look at what is happening in Ukraine, because whenever democracy is under attack, culture is always the primary target, which is why culture must be the primary defense as well.
The deliberate destruction of cultural heritage is a war crime according to the UN.
Fighters with a Kurdish separatist militant group that has waged a decades-long insurgency in Turkey began laying down their weapons in a symbolic ceremony on Friday. The ceremony took place in the mountains outside the city of Suleymaniye in northern Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region. An Iraqi state-run news agency reported that the process will take place in multiple stages, starting with the symbolic ceremony and eventually leading to a full regional disarmament. Earlier, the Kurdistan Workers' Party, known as the PKK, announced it would disband and renounce armed conflicts, ending 4 decades of hostilities. PKK leader Abdullah Öcalan, who's been imprisoned on an island near Istanbul since 1999, urged his group in February to convene a congress and formally disband and disarm. The jailed leader renewed his call in a video message broadcast on Wednesday where he said, quote, "I believe in the power of politics and social peace, not weapons." Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan hailed the group's steps towards peace and expressed hope it will bring stability to a region battered by conflict.
A preliminary investigation revealed that 2 fuel control switches of the Air India plane that crashed last month were cut off moments before the fatal incident. Shortly after takeoff and once the plane reached its top recorded speed, both engines were switched from run to cut off, resulting in a loss of engine thrust. The report also revealed that prior to the crash, there was confusion between the pilots. One pilot could be heard on the cockpit voice recorder asking why the other had cut off the fuel. The other pilot responded that he had not done so. The report does not state how the switch could have been flipped to the cut-off position. On the 12th of June, the London-bound flight crashed shortly after it left the runway in India's northwestern city of Ahmedabad. The plane was carrying 230 passengers. Everyone on board except for one passenger was killed.
Supporters of Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva on Thursday protested against U.S. President Donald Trump and in favor of taxing the super-rich. Unions and social groups in Sao Paulo organized the protest as a call for confronting what organizers called an anti-people Congress. Brazilian President Lula da Silva had said that he would impose retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. if Trump follows through on a pledge to boost import taxes by 50% over the South American country's criminal trial against his predecessor, Jair Bolsonaro.